I'm on Haile Selassie Avenue, one of the busiest highways into the central business district. The road is seemingly deserted. Business is on a standstill on this Monday, 7th of July, the infamous Sabasaba Day.
Sabasaba rally, which of course has historical antecedents. You know, that was, Sabasaba was the sort of moment when the one-party state of Kanu was challenged in the 1990s. So, you know, this rally yesterday was setting itself up against a very historical momentous moment in our history. And I think if I look at it as an investor, I think an investor was concerned that this might spill out into the streets, that there is then a contagion effect, and we enter into a cycle of very politically charged rallies.
The main opposition alliance organized a political rally, and among the issues raised were tribalism in government appointments, corruption, and the current state of insecurity, especially at the coast, that has heavily impacted on tourism.
As a country cannot run away from certain critical facts. This country is facing serious security challenge, and that has serious implication in terms of the country's social and economic development, basically. The second thing is enhancement of rule of law. Any person who wants to invest in Kenya, he or she must be guaranteed of the security and safety of the investment you are making. Secondary is that the system you have is about, you see, like for instance, they are raising issues about corruption. Take as an example, this purely questions about governance, transparency, and accountability. That's key as a key condition for favorable investment environment, basically.
There's been a lot of debate. The president saying it's local, and Al-Shabaab saying actually it's us. And this is the first time anybody's told us when we claim it's us that it's not us. So you've got this sort of narrative which is very fluid. I think Kenyans from top to bottom just don't know what's happening, don't feel confident that the response is a compelling one, and therefore it's creating uncertainty. So I think I agree with you. This is the key risk right now, and actually it's not unique to Kenya. We're seeing it in Nigeria as well.
Addressing the high cost of living was also top on the agenda, but the business community expressed reservations in the way the Code Alliance conveyed their grievances.
I think what they are raising is genuine concerns. It's concerns that business has continued to raise at different quarters. And for us, we have not raised them just out in the public, because it's not the public that can do anything about this. It's really the people in the different places in terms of leadership. And so if it's high cost of living, we've engaged even with the executive and said, what are some of the things that we can do? And we have said the reason why we have been high cost of living, first of all, is not a Kenyan issue. We know that worldwide there's high cost of living, and we've seen even countries being rated in terms of cost of living. And we've raised some of the issues and said it's cost of production.
Despite the political rhetoric, which continues to heat up, the stock market has been resilient and foreign investor confidence remains high.
International investors' confidence levels remain high, which is interesting. But local confidence levels has now turned south. That's what's beginning to worry me, because, you know, when you have when you're trying to rally an economy, when you're trying to rally a continent, it is going to be driven by locals. And if your locals are losing confidence, then you've got a problem, because they are the cheerleaders of Africa rising. I'm worried about that now, boomeranging on confidence amongst the local community.
The private sector recommends an all-inclusive dialogue by both government and the opposition in order to keep the appetite of both local and foreign investors high.
If we need to form caucuses, let's form caucuses and act on those issues. But I think being on the streets, calling for a referendum, looking for signatures, again, it just creates a political instability. And that what we're seeing, the desire, especially from foreign investors, may wane out, and they may start looking at other regions, and we do not want to lose that. And so for us, we're really keen to keep that appetite for Kenya going strong. And so we'd really caution the politicians to be very careful, to say you may be trying to gain one thing and lose so much more. So there's a good place to balance it out and say, can we move from business of politics to business of business?
I think there are issues that I think would be very important for both, for government and for the opposition. Number one, they must start to invest more in a more structured processes and procedures of dealing with issues that have been identified to be critical to the country. That's one is very important. And I think they need to look at them from point of reason and from point of soberness, without really creating antagonistic environment. I think the second thing is that they need to demonstrate to potential investors, both locally and internationally, that they have competence and ability to manage their differences constructively.
With the World Bank cutting Kenya's growth prospects to 4.7% in June from 5.2% earlier in the year, some analysts feel more needs to be done for the country to bounce back.
I urge our government, let's cut back, let's get a bit more Sun Tzu, and let's be more multilateral and less chippy. Let's pull in all these people who can help us right now and who want to help us, and let's get them all on side. And those are, I think, the three key areas where I would like to see a change. Otherwise, you know, we're going to be stuck. I saw an UN UNCTAD report last week, and it said for Africans to start feeling trickle down, a country has to grow above 7%. You're just telling me we're below 4, we're at 4.7. I think we'll be like 4% this year. The point is we've got to get to that faster growth, rate. That is it. That is going to be the success or failure of this government.